Just this. स्मृति तो नहीं दिख रही मेरे को इधर। या hello, welcome to this talk of Nityanootan Varta. Just wanted to say thank you to Smriti and Siddharth and everyone at Nityanootan Varta for inviting me for this talk. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share my journey with you all. I guess I'll just get started. So, as some of you might know, I think from the title of this talk also, leading an empowered and independent life through self-learning. I am a self-declared self-learner, I guess. My journey starts with, I think, after 8th class when I started unschooling. And just in general, I think ever since I was a child, I've always been, I think I always had some sort of a problem with structure in the sense that I felt it was always very bounding and didn't exactly that I never felt that I got the space to express myself creatively or just be who I am in the four walls of a school. I was always a good student, but still, I just felt that there was always something missing. And luckily, fortunately enough, I always got that space at my home with my family. We've always had a very democratic environment in our family. जो भी डिसीजन हम लेते थे आई थिंक माय पेरेंट्स ऑलवेज मेड श्योर टू इंक्लूड अस हम छोटे से थे तब से भी उन्होंने कभी ये नहीं सोचा कि ये छोटे बच्चे हैं इनको तो क्या ही पता होगा छोटी से छोटी चीज घर में नया टीवी या फ्रिज लाना हो से लेके इंडिया शिफ्ट होना है या नहीं ये बड़े बड़े डिसीजंस भी काफी डेमोक्रेटिकली हमारे घर में हम 4 लोग बैठ के साथ में लेते थे और ऐसे एक डिसीजन हमने लिया मेरी 8th ग्रेड खत्म हो गई उसके बाद में और वो डिसीजन था कि मुझे स्कूल जाना है या नहीं और ये डिसीजन हमने सबने साथ में मिल के लिया आई थिंक मेरे पेरेंट्स ये चाहते थे कि जो वैल्यूज शायद स्कूल सिस्टम में नहीं मिल रही हैं वो कैसे उनका बच्चों को मिल सकती है और फ्रीडम और स्पेस कैसे मिल सकता है हमारे बच्चों को एक्सप्रेस करने के लिए टू कम्प्लीटली बी हु दे आर एज पीपल एंड टू फाइंड दैट आउट फॉर देमसेल्व्स सो ये डिसीजन हमने लिया और 8th ग्रेड के बाद मैंने स्कूल छोड़ दिया 8th ग्रेड के बाद मैंने स्कूल छोड़ दिया और उसके बाद में जो मेरी जर्नी रही है अभी तक मैं अभी 21 साल की हूँ काफी सुंदर सी जर्नी रही है काफी शिफ्ट्स हुए हैं पर्सपेक्टिव में आई थिंक जीवन जीने के तरीके में लाइफ जैसे मैं जीती थी पहले और अब जीती हूँ बहुत सारे शिफ्ट्स हुए हैं जिनके बारे में मैं आपके साथ अभी शेयर भी करूंगी और यही थोड़ी सी मेरी तो पहले 1 साल तो मुझे याद है शायद मैंने कुछ किया नहीं था आई थिंक एक सिस्टम है जहाँ पे आपको कुछ भी करने का टाइम नहीं मिलता है और शायद ये भी जानने का मौका नहीं मिलता है कि आपको क्या चीजें पसंद है तो जब ऐसे सिस्टम से जब आप बाहर निकलते हो तो सबसे पहले यही पता रहता है कि क्या नहीं करना है क्या ऐसी चीजें हैं जो हम नहीं चाहते हैं करना तो आई थिंक चालू उसी से किया कि ऐसी क्या चीजें थी जो मुझे बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं थी करना जो मैंने नहीं की मैथ्स पढ़ना शायद जल्दी उठना सुबह से तो ये सारी चीजें सबसे पहले तो आई थिंक जर्नी यही थी कि जो वो चीजें हैं जो मैं नहीं करना चाहती हूँ मैं नहीं करती थी और ये स्पेस आई थिंक मेरे पेरेंट्स ने भी मुझे दिया शायद उनको भी पहले पहले लगता था कि बच्चे घर में हैं कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं एक हम जिस सिस्टम में रहते हैं उसमें एक बहुत फॉल्स नोशन होता है प्रोडक्टिविटी का कि प्रोडक्टिविटी क्या होती है और इट्स जज्ड बाय कि आप कॉन्स्टेंटली कुछ करते रहें। अगर आप प्रोडक्टिव नहीं हैं इस सोसाइटी में तो आप कुछ नहीं है। और ऐसे सोसाइटी में रहना और कुछ नहीं करना आई थिंक बहुत बड़ी चीज़ होती है। और पेरेंट्स को भी ये स्पेस मेरे पेरेंट्स ने मुझे दिया कि मैं कुछ ना करूं। बहुत ताने भी सुनने को मिलते थे पहले पहले, तो क्या कर रहे तुम्हारे बच्चे, क्या लाइफ बर्बाद कर दोगे तुम इनकी, ऐसे सारी चीज़ें। तो ये सारी चीज़ें भी सुनना और उसके बावजूद भी उनको शायद इतनी वैल्यू ना देकर just letting us be and trusting us to find our own way, which is eventually what I did. I started finding my own way. चीज़ें एक्सप्लोर करना चालू की बहुत सारी। खाना बनाने का बहुत शौक था, घंटों घंटों किचन में रह सकती हूँ मैं अभी तक भी। तो खाना बनाना एक्सप्लोर करना चालू किया, खुद से सीखना, वीडियोस ऑनलाइन देखना, रेसिपीज पढ़ के किचन में एक्सपेरिमेंट करना। बुक्स पढ़ने का बहुत शौक था, किताबें पढ़ना बहुत सारी अलग अलग तरीके की। क्या चीज़ें थी जो मैं सीख सकती हूँ वो देखना, और क्या चीज़ें हैं जिनमें मुझे इंटरेस्ट है वो चीज़ें सीखना, खुद से अपने मन से खुद ढूंढ के अलग अलग तरीके से। और और क्या बताऊँ मैं, बच्चों के साथ काम करने का बहुत शौक था, तो लकीली वो भी स्पेस मुझे मिला कि मैं बच्चों के साथ काम कर सकूँ। मैं स्कूल्स में वॉलंटियर करती थी और बच्चों के साथ मेंटली डिफरेंटली एबल्ड बच्चों के साथ काम करती थी। और ये जो भी मेरी जर्नी रही है 5-6 सालों में, इसमें काफ़ी कुछ शिफ्ट्स हुए मेरी लाइफ में जो मैं आपके साथ भी शेयर करना चाहती हूँ। तो आई थिंक सबसे पहला जो शिफ्ट था वो था फ्रॉम लर्निंग फ्रॉम द वर्ड टू लर्निंग फ्रॉम द वर्ल्ड। स्कूल में जो हम सीखते हैं वो काफ़ी किताबी नॉलेज होता है, हम टेक्स्ट बुक से सीखते हैं, वो सेकेंड हैंड नॉलेज होता है। और थ्योरी होती है बहुत सारी जो कभी लाइफ में काम नहीं आती है। और आई थिंक किताबों की दुनिया से भी बाहर निकल के एक्चुअल रियल लाइफ, रियल वर्ल्ड से, रियल लाइफ एक्सपीरियंसेस से आई गॉट टू लर्न फ्रॉम द पीपल अराउंड मी, फ्रॉम एवरीथिंग दैट आई वाज गोइंग थ्रू, फ्रॉम द वर्ल्ड अराउंड मी. The second thing that I think happened was the shift from reliance to responsibility. And with that, I mean that I think when we are in a system, we rely on the system. So जब हम होते हैं स्कूल में या कॉलेज में या whatever, तो हमारा पूरा रिलायंस लर्निंग का उस सिस्टम के ऊपर होता है कि वो सिस्टम है या उस सिस्टम के लोग हैं जो हमको सिखाएंगे। और कहीं ना कहीं हम हमारी खुद की लर्निंग की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भूल जाते हैं या छोड़ देते हैं, किसी और के ऊपर दे देते हैं। तो उस रिलायंस से कि कोई और मेरी लर्निंग का ज़िम्मेदार है, से ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेना शायद कि अपनी लर्निंग की ज़िम्मेदार मैं खुद हूँ और वो लर्निंग मैं कैसे कर सकती हूँ। सो एक ये शिफ्ट था सेल्फ लर्निंग का कि आई थिंक द ओनस वाज ऑन मी, द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वाज ऑन मी. देयर वाज नो वन दैट आई वाज रिलाइंग ऑन टू टीच मी what it is to live or whatever it is that I wanted to learn. So I think just having that responsibility with myself, that whatever I want to learn, I am responsible for it. And I think that really, like I'm talking about leading an empowered life. तो आई थिंक ये चीज़ें हैं सारी जो आपको एम्पावर करती हैं। जब आप खुद की लर्निंग अपने खुद के हाथों में लेते हो तो आई थिंक दैट्स वेरी एम्पावरिंग इन एंड ऑफ इटसेल्फ. I think I don't know how to put this, but I think it's just very important for us as facilitators, as adults in any child's life, to sort of give that responsibility back to them. जो होती है हमेशा, जब एक छोटा बच्चा हम जिसको देखते हैं तो वो चलना बोलना हमेशा खुद से सीखता है। हम कोई उसको सिखाने नहीं जाते कि बेटा एक पैर के आगे एक पैर रखो तब तुम चल पाओगे, वो खुद से सीखता है। और ये जो सारी सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ें होती है हमारी लाइफ में वो हम खुद से ही सीखते हैं हमेशा, वी लर्न देम ऑन आवर ओन. सो आई डोंट नो when that shift happens, that we sort of stop learning on our own and start being dependent on other people to teach us. So I think taking that responsibility back, getting that back, having a space where I could be responsible for my own life and for my own learning, that was of itself a very just empowering thing to happen for me. The other thing that happened is I think in a system generally what happens is there's this there's always this focus on what I know. That's all we sort of focus on. These are the things that I know, and these are the things that I focus on. And the entire perspective is always of information. कितनी information आप retain कर सकते हो, कितनी information आपके पास है, कितनी आप जानते हो, what are the things that you know. I think that's always the most important thing. And from having that shift of uh, from what I know to what I know that I don't know, I think that opens up a whole new world of possibilities and knowledge. So from gaining information to gaining knowledge, I think that is another shift that helped me become more empowered. That sort of self-learning helped me do that. Trying to focus on the things. Okay, these are the things that I know that I don't know, and how can I figure these things out? And all of this I know sounds people always tell me that it sounds very extraordinary. Yeah, it maybe brings me out to be this very extraordinary person, which I am not. I think given this space where your parents trust you with your life and say to you, you know what, um, I think you're smarter than I am, and I think you know what's good for you, and I think that eventually you'll figure it out. And I trust you enough to know or say that, you know what, anything you need to learn, whenever you need to learn it, you will. And I trust your capabilities enough on that. Just having that space, I think, is the most amazing thing that can happen for any child or any youth or any person, for that matter. Just having someone say that to you, or just having that be there as an understanding, having that space. I think for any child, it's not something that I could maybe do because I was smarter or more intelligent than other kids, or maybe I was better off somehow in my mental or physical capabilities. It was nothing like that. It was just having that space, and I think anyone that has that space can sort of get there where I am right now with my life. I've been earning and trying to support myself ever since I was 18. I haven't asked my parents for money for any travel, or they let me live with them, and food is free, but that's about it. So anything else that I want to do, any courses, any travel, I try to fund that for myself. I've become independent that way. Like I said, my learning has always been independent for the longest time. So I don't depend on any one person or a system to teach me the things that I want to learn. I sort of figure out ways on my own on how to do that. And a lot of that has just been traveling around, meeting a lot of different people, being in a space where that sort of learning is facilitated. And I think just having such an alternative community has also been so helpful with that, because trying to find people, who have those same sort of skill sets, or who are willing to not treat you like a kid, has just been amazing in that way also. So, like, a lot of thanks to just everyone in this community also for supporting me and supporting so many other learners like me as well, in sort of having this space and on my journey this way. So that's also there. And let's see what else. I think, yeah. So a lot of I just also like to share some incidents or some specifics about it also. With my unschooling journey also, I started out with a typical online high school. So at first it was homeschooling in that way. So I was still following a syllabus and still doing my learning, but just from home. And after a certain point in time, I also realized that this wasn't working out. I think it just felt very, very similar to what I was doing at school, but just the difference was that I was at home and lonely and none of my friends were there with me. So after which I sort of also shifted gears, and as a family, I think we did a lot of unconditioning as to what how learning can be facilitated without a structure. And so I think that helped a lot, just being left to my own devices. I know as parents, it was probably hard for my parents to do that for me and my younger brother, but they did. They sort of left us to our own devices, and that's when a lot of different beautiful things started. I started traveling alone. I've been traveling alone since I was 14, 15. I've traveled all across India by myself, met so many people, learned so many different things. As a family, I think, especially my mother has always believed that travel is the biggest teacher, and so that's what they try to also instill in our lives, that you can learn so much through traveling, which is what I've done. Just from basic skills like organization and self-management to managing money, how to live on a budget, what how to communicate with people, how to find your own way, navigation. I think there's just so many different vast variety of skills that I've learned just through traveling and traveling alone. Um, how to optimize, how to get somewhere in the fastest way possible, in the cheapest way possible. Um, Stuff like that. I think it's been wonderful, trying to learn all that through travel, and actually learning all that through travel. I think just all the skills that I've gotten simply from this one small thing. Um, and then after which, I think there was also a point in my life where I also wanted to try the conventional system out again. And then I ended up applying to universities in the United States, and been very lucky with that, because I think universities in the United States very very open to homeschoolers and unschoolers. They don't require any sort of uh, official transcript or certificate or anything like that. As long as you can show them what all you've done, they're very very willing and happy to sort of accept you into their colleges. So I applied to a couple universities, got into University of Chicago and New York University, and then ended up, still I am doing my Bachelor of Science in Psychology through the University of Chicago. And I think people always sort of ask me that you're such a big advocate of like not having a structure and unschooling and self-learning, and then you're still a part of the system in some way. And I think a part of it was just that my father always wanted to sort of have a balanced um, mid path about it. So a part of what I'm doing, my degree, is also just for him. And just so he always wanted कि कुछ तो backup होना चाहिए तुम्हारे लिए. So that's why I'm doing it. And also just because I also wanted to explore what it was like. I was curious about how college life is like or what it's like. So I ended up being there for a year on campus, after which I decided that learning this way again was not for me. It just sort of reinforced whatever I believed about myself and about the ways I like to learn. So came back, and actually even before I was supposed to leave for college, I was working on this idea which sort of stems from the passion I have for cooking and for food, called Cotfoo, which is short for connecting through food. And the idea there was that how can we enable home cooks? We have such a wonderful treasure of home cooks in our dadis and nannies and our mothers, who cook amazing food with so much love, but then they don't have a platform where they can sort of showcase that in any way. And also, just the fact that as a community, as a society, we're losing connection with each other. And the best way I think I've always thought to connect is through food. I think just sharing a meal brings you closer together. So, just working on that idea, started a platform where we could connect such dadis, nannies, anyone who loves to cook, who has a passion for cooking, with people who want to have a um, who want to have a home cooked meal and meet new people and meet new families. So how we can connect those two people, and then also as a family, for the past couple years we've also been exploring healthy eating, different ways how we can be more sustainable and, eat healthier, eat more nutritional food. So I think that was also something that we wanted to bring to the table, where we could connect with natural farmers as well, who, उनके साथ यही होता है कि द फार्मर्स, हम जो ऑर्गेनिक और नेचुरल सब्जियों के नाम पे खरीदते हैं, हम बहुत वी बाय इट एट exorbitant rates in the market, and what we get is, and the farmers who are actually putting in so much effort into growing that food, they don't get what it's worth. They don't get the value for that. So we wanted to sort of bridge that gap between producers and consumers, and also how we could even more consciously be more conscious consumers in that sense, and try to connect natural farmers and consumers directly, so that natural farmers can also get the appreciation and the recognition that they deserve for all this stellar, amazing work that they're doing. And people can also get food that's good for them, that's healthy for them, at more affordable prices, so that it's not just something that eating healthy is not just something that's for the elite or for people who are rich enough to afford it, but for everyone who sort of wants to take that step towards, being more conscious about their diet and what they're putting into their bodies. So started that. And then the other thing that happened was, during mine and my brother's journey of unschooling, he also started a small center in Indore called Asmakam, and Asmakam means ours. और आई थिंक उसके पीछे भी आइडिया यही था कि हम ऐसा स्पेस कैसे क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, शायद जैसा मुझे और मेरे भाई को मिला है, तो हम वही स्पेस और लोगों के लिए कैसे क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. हम शायद आज एक ऐसी दुनिया में रहते हैं जो हमेशा इट्स ऑल अबाउट कंपटीशन कंपटीशन, तो ऐसी जगह पे हम कोलैबोरेशन और कैसे फैसिलिटेट कर सकते हैं, हम मिल के कैसे क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, तो उसका भी आइडिया यही था उस स्पेस का. और अब 5 साल हो गए हैं और काफ़ी कुछ बच्चों के साथ काम करते हैं हम. उनके लिए वर्कशॉप्स होस्ट करते हैं और स्पेस होस्ट करते हैं, सेल्फ लर्निंग कैफ़े बोलते हैं हम उसको, तो सेल्फ लर्निंग कैफ़े होस्ट करते हैं उनके लिए, जहाँ पे दे कैन कम एंड लर्न बाय देमसेल्व्स. जैसे हमको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली थी सेल्फ लर्निंग करने की, वैसे उनको भी मिल पाए, और वो खुद नेचर में रह के अपने आप को, अपनी सराउंडिंग्स को एक्सप्लोर कर सकें कैसे और ज़्यादा, और एक डेमोक्रेटिक एनवायरनमेंट में खुद अपनी लर्निंग अपने हाथ में कैसे ले सकें. तो ये सारा काम और कोशिश जारी है अभी भी अस्माकम पे. अभी भी कोरोना काल में भी काफ़ी कोशिश की है यूथ्स के लिए और बच्चों के लिए, ऑनलाइन सेशंस भी कैसे होस्ट कर सकते हैं अलग-अलग चीज़ों के ऊपर. अभी एक और चीज़ पे काम कर रहे हैं जो मेरे दिल के काफ़ी करीब है, व्हिच इज़ a gap year. It's an alternative to higher education for youth. 1 साल जहाँ उनको ये टाइम मिल सके कि वो एक्चुअली में ये एक्सप्लोर कर सके कि वो क्या करना चाहते हैं, और अलग-अलग चीज़ों से भी एक्सपोज़ कैसे हो सकें, और साथ ही साथ ऐसी स्किल्स भी कैसे बिल्ड कर सके जो शायद उनको आगे जाके एक लाइवलीहुड अर्न करने में भी हेल्प कर सके. तो ऐसे भी एक साल के प्रोग्राम पे हम काम कर रहे हैं, जिसका पायलट एक्चुअली अभी जून में होना था, 1 महीने का, बट बिकॉज़ ऑफ कोरोना वो नहीं हो पाया, बट वी आर होपिंग कि शायद अगले साल हो पाए. तो ये सारी चीज़ें चल रही हैं अभी भी. मेरी जर्नी जैसा आप देख सकते हैं कि अभी चालू ही है, और काफ़ी एक्साइटेड हूँ मैं देखने के लिए कि वेयर इट गोज़. आई थिंक लास्ट में मैं सिर्फ यही कहना चाहूँगी कि आई वाज़ जस्ट, जैसे मैंने पहले भी कहा था, कि मैं काफ़ी लकी थी कि मेरे जो एनवायरनमेंट था और मेरे जो पेरेंट्स थे, वो मुझ पे इतना ट्रस्ट करते हैं अभी भी, कि वो मुझे अपनी लर्निंग की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वापस कर पाए, और ये ट्रस्ट मुझ में कर पाए कि तुम जो भी करोगी वो अच्छा ही करोगी, और तुम सीख सकती हो खुद से. यू कैन लर्न बाय योरसेल्फ एंड यू कैन हैव दैट स्पेस फॉर योरसेल्फ, and we trust you enough to be responsible for your own life. So I think I'm just very, very grateful to them for being those kinds of parents who could say this to me and trust me to this extent. Um, to say that, we know what's good for you, and we support you 100%, whatever that is, even if it isn't our notion of success or our notion of happiness. But whatever you choose to do, we're 100% behind you in that, and we trust that whatever you will do, you'll be happy, and you'll make your life something that's worth living. So grateful to them for giving me that space to be able to create and to be able to live my life like this. And like I said before, nothing special about me or my brother in all that we're doing. I think any child who's sort of given this space to completely be themselves and to learn on their own could do this and so much more. So just also urging parents out there, anyone who's listening, to please, please, please trust your children and give them that space. And I think we also host sessions for parents at Asmakam, and I always tell them this. I say that we they need to be, as parents, as educators, as anyone who plays any role in a child's life. I think we need to be facilitators for them. Our job is only to make things easier for them on their journey, um, and guide them if they ever ask for it, and otherwise just, I think, interfere as less as possible in what they're doing, and just trust them enough to know that whatever they're doing, they will find their way. And I think that's all I'd like to say for now. Also, just wanted to share some other initiatives that we've been hosting at Asmakam, one of which is Failure Talks. So, the idea behind that was also that I think we always take failure as something that's bad, or it's always stigmatized, and it's always the worst thing to happen to someone, that you failed. I think that's the biggest insult that you can sort of give to someone. And trying to take that out, because I think failure is such a normal part of life as we live it. हम हमेशा गिरते हैं और फिर वापस से खड़े हो जाते हैं, और ये जो प्रोसेस होता है बहुत सुंदर होता है, गिर के वापस खड़े होने का, और गिरना खुद में ही बहुत सुंदर सा प्रोसेस होता है, तो उसको हम कैसे सेलिब्रेट कर सकते हैं फेलियर को। तो इसीलिए ये भी एक हमारा इनिशिएटिव है कि हम कैसे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों की फेलियर स्टोरीज सुन सकें और उनको इनकरेज कर सकें कि वो अपने फेलियर्स को लेके बाहर आए, और ये रियलाइज करें कि सबकी लाइफ में होता है फेलियर, हम शायद अकेले नहीं है इसमें, और ये बहुत नॉर्मल सी चीज़ है जो हमारी लाइफ में होती है। इट्स नॉट समथिंग दैट्स बैड और रॉन्ग। तो यही कैसे फेलियर्स हम सेलिब्रेट कर सकते हैं, तो उसके लिए फेलियर टॉक्स भी है, और अगर आप लोग सुन रहे हो तो आई वुड ऑल्सो इनकरेज यू, और इट वुड बी ग्रेट इफ यू कुड ऑल्सो शेयर योर फेलियर स्टोरीज विद अस. And the other thing that we're doing right now during Corona as well is that we have this amazing treasure trove of wisdom and life lessons in our grandmothers. Um, I think, they don't have to, you don't, wisdom or learning or knowledge doesn't always have to come from people who are very learned, who have, I think, 3-4 degrees. I think just living life itself gives you so much wisdom, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring out these dadis and nannies and sort of listen to their stories, listen to their journeys, see what we can learn from them. So that's also something that we're doing at Asmakam. So I'd also you can also check that out, and on our page. Our first episode was this last Wednesday with my nanny, and also if you could also get on board your dadis and nannies and interview them as their grandchildren, that would be amazing. Every dadi and nani is a university in and of itself, I think, and there's so much we can learn from them. So if you could also interview your dadis and nannies and share their wisdom with us, that would also be wonderful. That's all I have for today. If anyone has any questions, I would be open to answering them. Okay, then I think is Smriti here? Should I just end the video? I think if anyone has any questions, also, please feel free to reach out on Asmakam's page, also on our Facebook and Instagram page, or you can also reach out to the website. I'd definitely be open to answering any of your questions, or if you have more questions about my journey. Yeah, so you can just reach out to us on inquiry@asmakam.org. I'll also just type the email down here. So I've sent the email in the chat box also. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions about self-learning, or about mine and my brother's journey, or what we're doing at Asmakam, anything of the sort. We'd love to help you on your way. Thank you so much for listening and being and listening so patiently to someone so young. So thank you also again, Smriti and Siddharth and everyone else at Nityanootan Varta for giving me this space to share my journey with everyone. Bye.